Hey, good evening. Doug Murin here with some tips that are actually examples of what our team would bring to you if you had us coach you on your own strategic plan and approach to growth. So I'm going to give you at least four, if we can, maybe five, because I don't want to hold you long. But our coaching consulting ministry, we call it. It is known as the Murin Group Alliance. We have at any time we have just launched out. We have between 16 and 20 coaches and consultants, all professionals. Most have been at it for several decades. We have experts at buildings, facilities, architectural work. We have experts at setting up financing, how to get your loans together, how to know what to spend. I'm the guy who deals with innovations, change, that kind of thing, and church planning, strategic planning. Roger Haskins, one of our team, deals with strategic planning, and together we work on banking issues for churches. Churches in trouble, about to be repossessed. We come in and help work the bank. That plus Roger deals with a lot of team building concepts and all that. We had Rick Nash, who does a lot of marketing stuff. Caleb Quay, who's master worship leader, former music director for Elton John. And we have David Lovelace, a spectacular pastor from Orlando, deals with building growing churches. I've got a director of what we call the small church expert. Our thesis is America's going to be transformed by thousands of 60 to 100 member churches. How to do that. So we've got an array, and I've just given you a sampling of it. So if you need coaching or consulting, get a hold of us, 407 982 6985. Okay, enough for the advertising now. Okay, here's what I would tell you to start off with. If you said, hey, Doug, come help us with reaching lost people, our church, and getting people in. Okay, number one, you've got to have the message clear and right. So often you need to realize our messages actually appeal to a very small part of the population, mainly because our assumptions are wrong. For example, I watch a lot of sermons. I like to see what people are doing. I like to see what we're doing. And an amazingly small percentage of sermons these days even mention the name Jesus. They've become our messages, and our presentation of Christ has very much slid over to Jesus, the life enhancement. And we've left the traditional gospel of Billy Graham, of the Apostle Paul, of Aimee Semple McPherson, of John Wesley, in favor of a sort of a behavior modification motivational format. And I'm not being cynical or hypercritical, it's just true. What I often hear is leaders will give message to make people avoid pain, which that's a whole nother topic about pleasure in our society, or they do message to make people feel better or happy, enjoy their life, or have more abundance and prosper, all of which are good things. But what you're going to find is, I stumbled across a study in 2007. Pew Research asked a number of people, a lot of people, if they were happy. And 52% of the people said they were very happy. 40% of the people said they were fairly happy. So that's 92% of the people who basically said their happiness factor was fairly decent or high. So that means if we're giving the happy shot at our church, that we're possibly only appealing to about 8% of the people, and it might explain why we've got a lot of sad sacks at churches. People who are sad trying to be happy. So what I would encourage you to do, if you really want to get unchurched people come in, examine your messages, and here's what they're looking for. They want to identify with a cause and with something worth sacrificing for, and a God whom they can honor through their hard times. Trust me, that's what's going on. We've got the wrong message for the wrong people. Just tweak that a bit. Trust me, over a period of time, you will begin to see people take you a little more seriously. Okay, two, I can see already I'm going too slow, but we'll get through several of these because I don't know how long you guys listen to these things and women. So don't bother telling me because I probably won't check it anyway. But okay, number 2, empathy. People never help anyone or reach anyone that they can't feel what they're feeling right now. Uh, so empathy is an interesting thing. That's the ability to feel another person's pain, to look at life through their eyes. It's a learned skill. No, we're all narcissists by nature, and certainly selfish. So empathy is a learned thing. You literally will have to teach it to your church and yourself, and it leaks. It's like love, it's like commitment, it's like vision. It all leaks almost on a monthly basis. So you have to ask yourself, am I nourishing empathy in my people? If you're not, they're not going to reach lost people because we're by nature selfish. In fact, we're not only worshiping God pleasure in our society, but my gosh, we've become a society that is incredibly fixated with self. I mean, just watch. I listen to this, and it's scary to me how seriously everyone takes their feelings. I'm feeling this, feeling that. I'm of the old school. I'm kind of from my grandparents' background. They lived through a depression, they went through 2 wars, and they didn't have time to really worry about how they were feeling at any given moment. They had 4 kids to raise, and the world's falling apart around them. So, I don't know. I think our age of overly fixated on the individual, keeping everybody happy, is killing us. So, empathy is moving from that and being able to see life from another person's perspective. You can do this by storytelling. I think short videos in service. Don't do them all like teary. Don't bring in the starving kid one and send me $1 a month thing. But tell them stories about empathy. Interview people. Have people share about their pain. Have people learn how to feel again for other people. Do messages about it. Tell stories about it. Talk about it. Don't get syrupy, but until your church really hurts for lost people, and by the way, you have to present the grave truth about the danger people are in. We've slid so far to universalism that our people really don't feel anymore that people are in jeopardy of eternal punishment or separation from God. And we all know who study the Bible that that's there very clearly. And so, you need to, go revisit the Bible. Universalism is kind of a syrupy thing that reduces our responsibility from, caring about other people actually in the end. So think about those things. Try and feed that. Find ways to measure it. There are ways you can. If you hire me as a coach, I'll show you how, but I'm not going to tell you right here. Okay, 3. When you go to teach your church how to do outreach and all this kind of stuff, it can be done for them in a way they can get in and it's fun. I don't like preaching sermons on things that people should do. I would never do a message on we're going to evangelize or you better evangelize. I might talk about the benefits of being evangelized. I might talk about how wonderful it is to include new people in your life. I might talk about those things, but I'm not going to get up and say, hey, you better have 3 people by the end of the year who've done this. So I feel the same way about innovation and change. The worst thing you can do is walk in and tell a group you need to change. And consequently, the worst thing you do, the church is walk and say, we're going to evangelize. We better evangelize. You have to be a little different than that. I want to use the metaphor of conflict management. Of course, I've pastored for a long time, 35 years at least, and I'm asked as a coach to come in sometimes with conflict management with boards and all that. And I've learned a little key. If there's conflict in a group, board or something, I don't address it directly. What I'll do is I'll bring in some advisors. And sometimes I'll invite some wives of notable people in the church. And basically what I want to do is I want to get people in there that the bad people are too embarrassed to be bad in front of. Why is that? Because I think a lot of this stuff we get so upset about is just bad habits. People have bad interpersonal hygiene. So as a coach, I don't go and try to root people out of their problem. I try to change their habits if I can. If they're really, really evil, bad people, kick their butts out. But by and large, organizations get bad habits. I find if I can surround a problem with good stuff and start good habits, I solve things. And people never know it's been solved till it feels good later. Also, if I were going to get my church doing evangelism, I wouldn't do a sermon. What I would do is I'd find 6 people who are evangelists and have them start doing it and interview them about it. And pretty soon surround everything in the church with these people who are crazy about evangelism. And you will find it's infectious. I call it the surround and conquer strategy. It works. It takes a little discipline, but you will get your church going a lot better in that direction if you do that. Surround what you're concerned with. If you've got a church that's selfish, doesn't care about lost people, don't try to make them have that, because you can't. Surround them with people who are like that. Reward people who are like that. Talk about people who are like that. Surround what's the problem with what you need and what you want. It works a lot better that way. Okay, I'm going to stop. This has been 10, 11 minutes. I got 3 more to go. I'm going to leave you right there. You have to come back another time, and I'm not going to type it up for you. So, hey, if you want to learn how to get a strategic plan going in your church, I may not have time myself, but I've got a lot of great people working with me, a couple PhD type people, and people who've done church from the trenches and all that. So, though I would love to help you. If we can help you, if this has been helpful, then call me at 407-982-6985, or as indicated in this email or Facebook page, just email me at murin.consultation@gmail.com. We'll see you then. In closing, my wife asked me, why am I wearing my baseball caps on these videos? I'm going bald, folks, and the sun's out in Florida, and I noticed when I get in front of a camera that my head is showing, and I'm not ready for that to happen. God bless you. We'll see you later.